Thank you for coming today. We wanted to highlight something that we've been working on together, and this is a good representation of the folks who've been working on it. It's not all of them, but it's certainly the vast majority of them for over 2.5 years. When I took over this office about 3 years ago, we had two of our main gangs in the city, YNN and Deuce 5. Basically, they were running over this, chasing each other all over this town, shooting at each other, causing havoc to citizens in their homes, themselves, and a whole host of other things. So we sat down together and came up with an idea, said, what are we going to do to target our most violent gun offenders? And what you see before you here today is a result of working together at state, federal, and local levels. Metro Narcotics was key in that they house everybody in Ouachita Parish, Sheriff's Office, West Monroe, and Monroe. Our HEAT team, who works tirelessly, knows these gangs, or used to know these gangs inside and out, all work together with the 4th District Attorney's Office and the Western District of America, Western District of the United States with Brandon Brown, to put significant numbers of these two gangs in jail. To give you a little, I'm not going to go into names. We can talk about that at a later date, but I want to let you know that through their hard work, they identified 30 members of the YNN gang, arrested 59 of them and their associates, 35 members of the Deuce 5 gang, and arrested 66 of them and their associates. So that's a total of 125 arrests in 2.5 years. They seized 21 firearms from YNN and 18 firearms from Deuce 5 for a total of 39 firearms. Now you'll see these firearms in front of you. It used to be back when I was a cop here, you might see a Lorison or a High Point pistol. These are military grade weapons. They cost a lot of money. They're high capacity. A lot of times, if it's a pistol, it's going to have an extended magazine. We've got some pictures around for you to see. There's one on the wall with a Glock switch on the back of it, which is we prosecuted federally because of it, because it turns that pistol into an automatic weapon. This was not done lightly. It was not done easily. It took a surgical and strategic approach to find out who were the leaders of these gangs, target them, make cases on them, and put them away for significant time. I'm going to give you an example of some of the times that they received and were sentenced to. 72 months, 68 months, 72 months, 120 months, 60 months, 60 months, 78 months, and so on. Those are significant penalties that really give them pause to think about what they were doing. It's significant. We'll let some of the others maybe talk if they like in a minute, and then we'll open up to questions. But before we do that, I want to thank the citizens for their participation in this. Without them and the many phone calls that we received, because they're tired of these people shooting their guns in their city, and they wanted to help solve these crimes, it would not have been possible without them. So I'm going to take this opportunity to turn it over to Mayor real quick, and I'll get back to you in just a second.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for everybody that showed up today. As you can see, this is just a sample. I believe over the last 3.5 years, there have been close to 1,200 or more weapons removed off the streets, pounds of narcotics. These weapons were used in crimes, connected to crimes. This one here with the white upper, the receiver on it, was used at shooting at police officers. It's these gentlemen's life that were in danger. I want to thank the men and women of the Monroe Police Department, all the other agencies that have been involved. You see multiple people that are here today, the partnerships that we've built with all these agencies, including the parish, the state, and other folks around. But the hard work that was put in by all these men and women and uniformed officers, I can't commend them enough. I can't thank Chief Zorden enough for the work that in his leadership here within the department. And again, Chief made a very important partnership, and that was, and he mentioned it, and that was that of the community. Chief's right. The community's fed up. And it was a tough job when we started to go in to have families talk, because there was trust that needed to be built that we would do the right thing and do it expediently and do it properly. And I'm very proud of the work that they've put in these partnerships that has built the trust in the community to where they can start talking to our police officers, solving crimes quicker, and that means saving lives and helping this community. And so, again, my job here today is to thank the people who are responsible for taking these guns and drugs off the streets, making our community safer, and saying thank you to the community for all your help in helping solve this and working directly and hand in hand with these officers, because they got to go home to their families too. Thank you.
Before I get away, I just want to make sure that we do acknowledge everybody. We've got Darrell Cowan with the Drug Enforcement Administration here. Thank you so much for that. ATF, Trish Pass was our task force officer with them. Strategic part in this. Kathy Sims, 4th District Attorney's Office, and I'm going to try to get her name right. Tennille Gilrith with Western District of Louisiana, and of course Brandon Brown. This wouldn't be possible. But to reiterate, you've got a total of 100, and I believe it was 125 arrests out of 2 major gangs. These gangs have been obliterated, decimated, and what you see normally in these instances is you see the younger ones try to rise up and take over that. We're not seeing that, in part because in order to do these kind of cases, you had to have cooperation. So we developed sources inside these 2 organizations that were telling on each other. So that kind of puts an end to that type of thing. So there's no love in the game. You're only as strong as the person next to you. So I'll open it up to questions if you got any.
Are you able to tell us the name of the gang?
YNN and Deuce 5.
Those are the only 2?
Those are the 2 we focused on.
Okay, and the confiscated weapons and the drugs, were they confiscated from homes or stolen vehicles? How
A combination of things. On search warrants, usually, vehicle stops, those types. Anybody else?
What impact do you hope this operation will have on the communities?
Well, I know what impacts it's had. It's reduced. We had 18 homicides in 2023, and 3 of them were determined to be gang-related. When I got here in 2020, we had 22 homicides, and the vast majority of them were them. So we're seeing a turning tide, so to speak, and it's actually made a huge impact, as you can see before you. We good? Anybody want to say anything? I forget anybody? Anybody? All right, done.